welcome back to ScaleSpeedworks. My name's Mike. I've had a lot of fun working with this kit so far. This thing is pretty cool. Cut out the trunk, testing a color on the roof. I'm working with some craft paint, and I'm still trying to get the ratio just right to get the perfect amount of coverage and to have it spray nice and clean out of my airbrush. The fender skirts here, I had a little bit of problem with one of them. They fit really, really nice, but I glued one of them in wrong, and then I had to pop it out and put it back. And anyway, what it comes down to, I decided I'm just going to fill these, smooth them out, make them look just like the rest of the fender and not a separate piece. I think that's going to be okay. But if you guys don't think so, or if you have another opinion, let me know in the comments below. Should I just try and scribe a new line, or you think it's going to be okay filled in? I've done this with both sides. There's the other side. So I'm going to try it, see how it looks, and we're going to go from there. This is going to be the color of the top. I really, really like it. Once I figure out how to get some good coverage, I'm thinking maybe 3 or 4 coats of this on top, and we're going to be just fine. Along with that, I decided to do the chassis in the same color, and I have a couple of thin spots here, kind of where the seams are, where pieces meet together, where there's a change in height or a change in profile, and that's just because I think the paint is too thin. So I'm not too concerned about it on the chassis. Maybe you guys can see that. Let me get a fancy pointer here. Hey, I don't have one, but we're going to use this. Right down here, it's just, you can tell it's a little thin. Um, Gas tank, I still need to paint that up. Looks like I got some scuff marks on there. I'm still debating whether to eliminate this completely, or now that I've opened up the trunk, is somehow convert this to a secondary gas tank. So I think for the Bootleggers Ball group build, I think I might do that. Let's see, where else are we at? This is the interior pan. Everything builds up on here. That looks excellent. Really does. It's such a nice fit. I was planning on maybe having the seat hinge forward to access a secret compartment back here, but I'm not sure about that. If I did that, oh, as I bumped the camera, I was almost thinking about using this rear pan and having the seat sit on top of there and then fold back and then maybe have this hinge up or cut that out somehow. I'm not sure. It would be super, super awesome. I'm not quite sure I can do it or I want to do it because I really, really like that rear seat. So I'm going to try and figure something out, see what I can do. Maybe there's a way that I could put this. I don't know. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What should I do? How should I work both of these um, rear seats or rear pans into this build so maybe I can have a secret compartment back there? Or since the trunk's open, should I just have a secret compartment inside the trunk so that I could get to an area maybe back here? I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I'm still working on that. I know the chassis is supposed to be black, but again, I really like this color, and I think it's going to be awesome painted up. Speaking of stuff that's painted up, that's painted black, so that's going to go over that, and I think that's going to look just fine. I have been airbrushing and I'm going to try and airbrush this entire model. I know I've been building for quite a while. I've been using rattle cans, just the Rust-Oleum rattle cans, and I've had a couple of videos about that. But I decided for this build, it was really time to break out that airbrush. And let me tell you, the airbrush is so nice. It's so worth it. If you guys are thinking about getting one, I would say do it. Now look, it is a little bit more work, does take just a little bit more time, but if it's at all possible, absolutely do it. This paint, this is Tamiya semi-gloss black. What I did is I got the bottle, I emptied it into a larger bottle. Stand by. Your regular Tamiya semi-gloss black. What I did, the last time I made a purchase online at an online hobby store, I picked up some of these. These are paint mixing jars. It's great that they call it that because that's exactly what they are. This jar is twice the size of this jar. I emptied this entire jar into here. All right, well then how do I know my ratio? Easy. I fill the remainder of this jar with Mr. Color leveling fluid. I shake it up really, really good. Swirl it around, shake it up. Then I drop the contents of this into there. And I have pretty much a 50-50 mix of semi-gloss black in here. And this will last me quite a while. The other thing I did, you guys hear that? I put a little BB in there to help stir the paint, shake it up. These are nice thick jars. It's not going to hurt this jar at all. So did that. That paint goes a long way. It really does. So semi-gloss black, I painted this. All this is all airbrushed. The benefit of doing that, it needs a little touch up, um, is you can clean up all the parts for the most part on the tree, paint them with the airbrush, and then when you go to cut them off, all it takes is just a little dab of this with a little brush, and everything's all cleaned up. Super, super easy. So let's get on to the meat and potatoes of this video. Was I wrong about this kit? Well, no, I wasn't. Here's what I'm going to show you. So these springs, I told you they were not going to fit. I told you guys that. I was wrong. I was wrong. These two-piece springs, not only did they glue together just fine, there was very, very little sanding to get these to look nice and round. So I was really, really happy with how these came out. Once again, these were airbrushed with the semi-gloss black. And then what I did is I got a little bit of gloss black and I thinned it out just a hair. And then I did a dry brushing. So I got all the paint off and dry brushed and just picked up the spring and not the inner support there. I did that with all four of these. I did it with both sides, and you can hardly tell the difference, but I think it turned out just perfect. Really, really happy with how those came out. This car, however, does need a little bit of work. This is the trunk that I cut out. There is a major seam line that goes across the trunk. That takes a little bit of effort to clean up. The seam lines on this car, they're well hidden except for this one across the trunk, but they do need some cleanup. There's a pretty good seam line, and I try to get most of it on the chassis, right along here on the rails, on the insides of these, the X-frame here. So there's a little bit of cleanup. The seam lines, they're going to take some work. But overall, the detail in this kit is still just fantastic. I might take a little dry brush the radiator, maybe with some silver, but everything's coming along just fine. So really, really satisfied with the quality of this kit. And you guys might be able to see a little bit of the detail in the brakes here and the upper control arms. It's pretty impressive, really is. So so far so good on the Revell 1950 Oldsmobile. The other thing that I'm going to talk about real quick here, I stripped the chrome off. This is all, I left all the parts in the chrome tree, stripped it off. It's still a little glossy, so I might try the bath one more time just to really get this all cleaned off. But the whole point of stripping the chrome was so that you can clean stuff up. So hard to see, but on the bumper here, that needs a little sanding there on the bottom of the bumper. And if you were to do this while it was, oh yeah, that did the trick. And this is 600, nice and smooth. If you were to do that while it was still chrome plated, you'd sand right through the chrome plating. Edges need to be touched up here too, just a touch. So I'm gonna get this all cleaned up, and then I got some Fusion Firm, and hopefully that will just airbrush nice and clean, nice and smooth, and we'll be back in business. So again, I'm gonna go through, clean up, touch up all these parts. Man, separate door handles. That is pretty awesome. All right, I'm gonna clean up everything, spray some Fusion Firm, and then once the body's painted, I think we're gonna assemble everything. The body's gonna be done. Then I can work on the chassis. I can work on my trunk, figure out where I'm gonna have my hidden compartments, and I think we're gonna go from there. So again, really happy with this kit. The detail is superb, but just uh, just know that it does take a little bit of cleanup, um, and that's either your number 11 hobby blade or what I've been using for cleanup. And I don't know the number of this blade because I think this is a some aftermarket blade, but I could use a blade with the little bit rounded tip, and I think that works just a hair better for cleanup and touch up of those seam lines in those parts. So that's where we're at with the Bootleggers Ball group build. Let me know what you guys think the best way to have a hidden compartment. Is it to go maybe in from the trunk and have this as an extra fuel tank and have maybe a hidden compartment in here? Or should I use the interior, have the rear seat, and maybe have that fold down or something like that? Again, I'm not sure what direction I'm going to go, but whatever I do, I think this kit has the detail to really make this build shine. So either way, I think I got some great options. All right, hey, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys on the next one.